I've had the Schmidt Bender PM II for over a year now, so I just thought I'd give you my thoughts on it so far. Why did I get a Schmidt Bender PM II? This is my long distance target shooting optic of choice. There's plenty of other high-end optics on the market, but this is the one that I went with. The reason being is that Schmidt Bender have long been the benchmark in the industry in terms of optical quality and mechanical reliability, and that's the primary reason why I choose to use it on my long distance shooting setups. Weighs in about 1 kilo without the spur mount, which is about 37 ounces. It's 42 centimeters long, so it's got some length to it and some weight, but with that you get the reliability and the build quality and that insane optical performance. It is going to stand up to harsh weather, and it's waterproof down to 3 meters. Temperature wise, Schmidt Bender reckon it can operate in temperatures of -55 all the way up to 71 degrees Celsius. Starting at the back, the diopter ring goes -3 to +2, and they have redesigned the diopter to be able to fit the Tannenbrach scope covers, which is handy because they are my favorite type of scope cover and they come standard with the Optic. Another new feature on the new PM2s is that they have enlarged the grooves on the magnification ring, and you can also get a cool like shark fin style throw lever as well. Moving on to the main tube, it's 34mm and the illumination dial is next. It's got 11 different settings, so you can change the intensity of the illumination in the reticle. One of my favorite parts of the Optic is the turret. The turret clicks are incredibly tactile. They're awesome to use. You can configure each Schmidt Bender scope to the sort of turret configuration you want. This is the high profile double turn turret. So what that basically means is that you'll get a little indicator in the windows up above here when you're on your second rotation of the turret. So first rotation, there won't be any color up the top and you'll be on that bottom run. And then if you go up to the second rotation of the turret, you read from the yellow, and there's a yellow indicator to say, hey, you're on your second rotation. Probably some of the best clicks of any optic I've ever used. On this model, this is the 5-25 by 56. There's 26 MRAD of elevation in the turret, which is 65 MOA. And the windage turret on the right-hand side has plus or minus 6 MRAD or 16 MOA. And the windage turrets are really nice as well. Super tactile, really nice clicks. The parallax is located on the left side and goes from 10 meters all the way out to infinity. It does have a 56mm objective lens, and what that basically means is it lets in more light and gives you a clearer view. I think the glass in this is much better than Night Force and Carless, and that's one of the primary reasons I went with the PM2. I've got the MSR2 reticle in this model, but it also does come with about 8 different types, some with more extensive holdovers and others that are a lot more simple. In terms of colors, you can get it in the black like this one is, and they also have a tan color which they call RAL 8000. In terms of where this scope sits, I personally think it's probably one of the best all-round long-distance shooting scopes. This is my first choice for long-distance target shooting. For competition, I sort of got a bit of bias for an Australian company called Zerotech. And then for hunting, I tend to choose Maven optics. I think the strengths for the PM2 are its epic glass quality. It's probably the best I've ever seen in any optic, any high-end optic I've ever used. The turrets are crazy tactile. They're really satisfying to use and the clicks are amazing. And overall build quality, I've used this thing extensively over the last 12 months and it's seen some pretty heavy action and it hasn't skipped a beat at all. If I was going to change anything in the optic, maybe just this sheen is a little bright and they could use a more matte finish, but that's really just splitting hairs. Price wise, it does sit between the Night Force ATAC-R and the Steiner T6XI, but I think the Schmidt Bender has a lot of scope for the money, and I think it's one of the best scopes you can buy anywhere in the world and an epic piece of kit for long distance shooting. And I think it's the reason they're in such widespread military and law enforcement use around the world. If you do want a different magnification range, they do an LPVO, they do a 3-12 by 50, 3-20 by 50, and some really longer range ones like the new high power 6-36 by 56. If you are in the market for the best rifle scope money can buy, I do have an article down below that goes through all the top contenders. And if you're chasing the PM2 and you're from the US, you can grab showroom demos from Optic, and I've got the link below for that as well. If you do have any questions about the PM2, just write it below and I'll get back to you.